Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Indie Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome show for you guys. This is going to be one for the ages. We've got my special guest, Jackie Hall, here. How you doing, Jackie?
Whoop.
Jackie's been on the show a few times already, and so she kind of knows what she's in for. And then we've got our special guest who's never been on this particular show before, but she's my co-host for Horror, Blood, and Coffee. Please welcome Samantha Marie. How you doing, Samantha?
What up? Thanks for having me.
I'm very happy to have you. Now, I have to remind you also. I did tell you about the stinkometer, right? Before.
Vaguely, but usually when I listen to you, it's like half and half.
Okay. We will, we'll get into that later. But the movie that we are going to be talking about today is the 1997, airplane wannabe spinoff movie, whatever, Busted, directed by Corey Feldman. I had you guys watch it separately, and I'm kind of glad I did because I did not want to be in the room. We all watched it.
Yeah, I was cursing you for sure. I think I even texted you like, I hate you.
Oh, was that when you? Okay. All right, now I know when you watched it. But yeah, no, you were not happy. And neither was Jackie. So, but we'll get into that after we listen to some mood music. And we are back. Busted, the 1997 film. So real quick, I'm going to go into a little bit of background, and then we'll talk about the film more. But it was directed, the directorial debut and only movie that he's directed, Corey Feldman. It was written by Ronald Jacobs and Maria James. The only other credit that they have together is a film called Land of the Free that starred Jeff Speakman and William Shatner, which is on Tubi. And it stars Corey Haim for like 5 minutes.
I love saying the word Shatner.
You like the word Shatner?
Yeah, just because it's Shat.
Shat.
Beginning Shatner.
You could have a field day with that one.
Like at my pants, Shatner.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure if you met William Shatner, I don't think you could shut your mouth without saying that, like telling him that, like
word vomit, like Shatner.
Shatner, you get it? Shat.
Nerd.
Ma'am, do you have Tourette's?
That's exactly what they would say.
Fine, I'll come back to that.
Hey, look, Gary Busey, loved you, so William Shatner would too.
Gary Busey has lost his dang mind.
That's true.
Did you ever have his mind though?
Not really.
Yeah. I'm really regretting this mask. That's so painful.
I can see why you asked us if this was video.
I feel like Leatherface. We should have reviewed Leatherface. This would be more appropriate.
Well, I didn't know that's what you do every night, I guess, before you go to bed.
I'm a lady. Jackie, isn't this what you do every night? Peel your face off?
No.
All right, so
Facials are like a living, so
well, that's a different kind of facial.
For those of you that didn't know, I left the film industry for another form of entertainment, and it's peeing on people faces.
Yeah. How is that lucrative?
It's going.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about the movie at all?
I mean, we don't really have to, do we?
We kind of do. It's kind of the point of the show.
Coming out on my birthday.
Yeah, by the way, this will be out on June 13th. So that's awesome. This will be Jackie's birthday, and we're going to be talking about her peeing on people's faces. So
You know, people are going straight to Google Jackie Hall peeing on faces.
yeah, they're going to think is that what you do on your TikTok?
I like to do anything random to make people think that I'm doing stuff that I'm not, because it gives people something to talk about. It's pretty
It's Women's International Day or some stuff. So cheers to you, Jackie.
Cheers. I mean, yeah, I am a woman. Last time I checked. I mean, I don't even know why I said that.
Try to be politically correct, I guess. You identify with a woman and you are a woman and you were born a woman, I assume. I don't know.
All right. So back to
Yeah, busted.
all right, back to busted.
Hey, Taco Tuesday, and it's National Women's Day. Sorry.
Okay, so Samantha, why did you hate this movie so much?
I mean, okay, if I could sum it up in one scene, it was the scene that the bank robbery was happening and the chick in the bikini was walking with a sign that was connected to a wire that said J, and the cop was like, "Ma'am, you're jaywalking." I was like, okay, I'm out at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally wrote it and I wrote eye roll.
I kind of checked out at that point as well. I'm not going to lie.
I think because I think that was like about the time that I started going, okay, yeah, no, this is like if a 12-year-old tried to ride airplane, you know?
Well, and the sad thing is I watched some of this at work, so I had to like turn it down because it literally sounded like I was listening to porn in my office.
Yeah. Balcony door open, and I live in a very quiet complex, and I was like, oh my God, this is actual like porn music playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it pretty much was like softcore porn.
Yeah. Well, I kind of viewed it as like this was probably aimed for Skinamax, you know, back in that time. What?
I mean, you know, Corey, when he was in the shower scene, like, you know, he was like popping some wood at that point. It's the only thing I can think of.
Like, I knew when it was coming, and I literally just fast forwarded through it.
Oh yeah, thank God. There was so I always get in trouble for mentioning like my distaste for nudity. Like, this movie would probably be an example of what I'm going to start using. Like, this is a perfect example of a movie not having anything going for it and just adding in nudity, and that's all it had.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, it needed something for people to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, literally the jokes weren't gonna sell it, you know? Like,
itself wasn't gonna sell it. And I mean, I'm not Jonathan will tell you, like, I'm the same. Like, I'm not really down for unnecessary like nudity. Like, I don't like watching that stuff with other people in the room. Even my dogs, I'm like, close your eyes.
Right. Yeah. Well, because it's not natural. Like, my argument too is people are always like, well, nudity is natural. And I'm like, I mean, it's not really to see other people naked these, you know, time of day. Like, it isn't actually natural, I don't think. It takes me out of the moment when, like, you know, somebody's like just eating breakfast and they just start taking their top off and have boobs. And I'm like, why? Like, why do we need this? I don't understand.
I mean, if you don't walk into like business places nude, you know what I mean? Then it's not natural. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't go,
not in the United States.
What?
Not in the United States. I don't
know.
If
it isn't. And so no, I get it. And I don't, and you know, both of you guys know I'm not a person I don't put nudity really in my films. In fact, I had an opportunity and I chose not to go with it. You know,
road.
What?
I said, look at you taking the high road.
Well, it was, I mean, literally because I didn't even feel comfortable shooting it, you know? And that's the big thing for me is like, if I'm uncomfortable, that means that it's going to be an uncomfortable scene, period. To, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I view it. And the people that just, what?
All right, not to interrupt you,
No.
but I feel like with a lot of the stuff that's going on right now with just everyone trying to make things normalize things that aren't normal, they'll make up excuses for whatever. So the next time someone tells you that being naked is natural, say, well, so is taking a dump on your face in public.
Because that is natural, yes.
A dump natural?
But then they'll be like, but some people like that, you know, like,
you know,
that's your next job, Jackie. That's your raise. That's like where you work up to, from peeing to shitting on people.
I never thought I was gonna end up like getting my retirement check from Alabama mudslides.
Well, that's to all the women out there, you know, just dream big and you can achieve anything that you want.
just a side note, the very used to be famous POS, Jake the Snake Roberts, is the one that taught me what the Alabama mudslide was. He didn't tell me, he told me.
Nice.
Wait, it sounded like I had Jake the Snake Roberts shit on my chest. I can't. I'm sorry.
That is from Urban Dictionary. Is that the thing these days?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I've never even heard of that before, but thank you, Jackie, for
you know, Jake the Snake is probably in his 60s or something now. He was doing this like back in the day.
No, I don't know if he's doing this nowadays. You know,
I don't.
You don't want to know. All right. So, and here's the thing, like, Corey Feldman sort of made me feel very awkward because, like, obviously he took this movie for, you know, the reasons of being able to just see chicks naked the whole time, you know, and have scenes where he's having sex with them or in the shower with them. You know what I mean? Like, it just.
Well, we don't know that though.
Well, if he
sometimes it's not the director, you know. I mean, I'm saying he's probably not like being like, no, I don't want to do that. But I mean, because it wasn't his movie, he just directed it.
Right. Somebody wrote it, but then he was like, "Hey, I want to direct that, and I want to be the lead star."
I mean,
of that.
He could have thought that this was like his big break. Like, he probably thought this was like, you know, he's paying his dues and he's gonna be like the next Spielberg. I mean, I love Corey Feldman, and if I can say anything about him, like, that he follows his dreams, as weird and eccentric and crazy as people think he is, especially with like his new album that he released. You know, I feel like he's really like living his true self, no matter what.
I feel like he's like pretty like professional. So like to see him like do something like this, just to be doing like working with nudity, doesn't seem up his alley, especially during the time frame that this was done, because it was very early on. Like, he was probably trying to watch every little thing that he did.
Right. Well, and then like I think half of Playboy was like in this, like half the people that worked at Playboy was in this movie.
Yeah, well, now most people don't even know what Playboy is. So.
I know. Well, yeah, for a reason. Jeez.
Yeah. So things have been changing, you know, period.
What
was that?
We're aging ourselves.
That's true. So yeah, well, and that's the thing, is like the times have been changing. So the movie like this definitely, I would say a movie like this wouldn't be made in Hollywood, but a movie like this probably would be made independently. You know,
it was so bad. Even like the camera work, like there was like spots where the camera would literally just be like, whoo, 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 and I was like, oh god, it was like the camera work was so bad and shoddy. And then like the sound effects, like one other scene I wrote was when that poor like guy was trying to eat his corn on the cob, and like the girls came in and were like sucking on the corn on the cob, and like the disgusting sound effects that they added. I was like, oh, do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I hope they like shown while they were adding. It was so bad.
It was so. I was like, I think they had them done that on purpose because it was so like just over the top.
Yeah. I hated all the sound effects. I hated all the, I don't know, just almost, I kind of hated the whole movie. Like, I didn't really find anything to justify anything good from this movie.
You know what's even more weird is, did y'all know that his sister was in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
So I had to Google it because I didn't really know what his sister looked like. And I was like, oh my God, like, please not be one of the naked girls. I was like, oh, it was cringe. But she was just the secretary. So I was like, whew. Yeah,
she wasn't one of the naked girls. She was the secretary that was answering the phones and
said, weird though. Like, your sister's in this movie and like you're just like sandwiching between. I don't know. It's just gross.
From what I've understood, I looked his sister up. Mindy Feldman is her name, and I looked her up, and she was in like some sort of other shows, like this sort of stuff like this, or like sexy stuff or whatever. So like this was like nothing, to her probably.
I know, but I mean, I just meaning like seeing her brother like sandwiched in between two hoe bags,
What is
that would be a little weird for me, like to think like I don't want to see that shit,
Right.
with my family. And I'm sure they don't want to see the same thing with me, but
same thing at all.
What?
I don't want to see the same thing at all.
No. So yeah, it's just such a strange, I don't know why Mindy Feldman agreed to be in this movie, but I
mean, I think she was only in like 6 things though. Like, I looked her up too, and like one of the Wikipedias, which I know you can edit, and I'm sure she did. Like, it was like it was saying like how successful she is as an actor, and she's like a billionaire and like just so successful. And then I like looked her up, and she had like 6 credits, and I was like,
she could be a billionaire from something else.
Well, it said she was a millionaire from acting though, and she was like an A-list actor. I mean, it was saying some weird stuff, and I was like, well, I think somebody edited that.
Yeah, I think she did, or her agents, like trying to make her sound bigger, because even Corey Feldman's not a millionaire anymore.
That
I don't know if he ever really was. He sort of was famous, but I don't know if he really got that. Like he was. I don't know. He was sort of like a big time when he was a kid, but when he got older, he kind of lost it. Like,
Well, I follow him on IG, and he still thinks that he's famous, and I love him for that.
He does a lot of music now, and so he's kind of living. You're right. He's kind of living his best crazy life that he can live.
Have y'all seen his new music video?
I've heard about it. I heard about it. And he's like trying to be like Michael Jackson or something.
I mean, he's always been like, he idolized Michael Jackson. So like he, dances a lot like him or whatever, but y'all gotta watch it. Have you seen it, Jackie?
I have not. You should link me.
Okay. It's amazing. It's almost like an actual real music video with like no auto tune. Like if he would have had auto tune, it would have been a legit like hit, I think. Cause it was catchy, but it just sounded kind of like,
kind of boring. What does Zeke think about this movie when he was watching it with you?
He went to sleep.
The movie put Zeke to sleep.
He went to sleep, huh? Yeah. You don't like to see people, huh?
He doesn't like to see people naked. It's pretty much what the whole movie was. I mean, just a bunch.
I normally write a lot more about the films, as you know. I like to really dive in and dig deep, but like, man, I didn't have any inspiration or. There's no real. So bad.
There's no real. Okay, the only thing we can really dig deep into is talking about the kind of awkward elephant in the room situation that happened with Corey Haim and why he quit, and like the idea that and we talked about this briefly, Sam, you and I, but when Corey Haim supposedly left because and shoved Corey Feldman up against the wall, and said, "I quit," because he had was it Dominic Brassia or Brascia? Yeah, he was he was an actor, and you remember him from
candy bar. He was the candy bar guy in Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. He always had that damn candy bar, and it made me hungry every time. I wanted a candy bar.
Well, if you notice in this movie, he was in this movie, he was eating a lot too. So like every single scene, almost he had something that he was eating, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that is.
I want that kind of part. Like, why can't I get a part like that? That sounds amazing.
Are you saying you want Olivia Harker to just be eating everything all the time?
Yeah, like quarantine weight gain and just eating and happy. It's fine.
Oh Lord. But yeah, so he was doing that, and it was a little awkward, at times. Like all his character was really awkward to me.
Yeah.
Do you remember him, Jackie, from it? The big guy in the movie?
What do you mean?
Do you remember that character? The guy that was like the big guy in the movie? Oh. He was like he was the one who wanted the sesame roll or whatever in the roll call. That shit was so terrible. That joke was just bad. And then
the jokes are bad.
And then you see Corey Feldman hug Dominic Brassia, during that scene. And all I could think of is like, he's claimed that dude like molested him. Like, what in the world is going on? This just does not seem right, like at all,
Well, just because that was going on at the time, I mean, he didn't come out with that information until like during the pandemic?
Close to it. I think, it was when we were at, because we watched that movie at your house, didn't we?
I think so. So back then, maybe he was just in denial about it. So, I mean, you can't really judge that type of thing.
Right. No, I agree. And sometimes people just don't, they process grief differently, or whatever. Maybe he just decided to become friends with, but Corey Haim did not like that, I don't believe, and left the project. But Corey Feldman had to make a lie and say it was because of drugs or something, which I thought was that if that was true, if he did say that to everybody, and that's kind of fucked up that he would lie, if it was a lie. Which,
well, I mean, his whole death is a lie. Like, I mean, if you ask like a lot of people, like people will still say that Haim died of an OD because that was like the rumor about it, and everybody just believes it.
So what did he die?
He died of pneumonia and an enlarged heart. He had very low drugs in his system per the toxicology report.
Oh.
Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
Right? Corona. Yeah. So he was sick. I guess his mom said he was sick for a couple of days. He was just in bed a lot, and then he passed out at home. She called the hospital, they took him to the hospital, and then he was dead at the hospital. And his results came back pneumonia and cardiomegaly, which means an enlarged heart. But like I said, there's a rumor mills, and I mean, Corey Feldman even went on some talk show and was like claiming that he was like, I think somebody murdered him, because that's when they were kind of like going around like telling people that they were going to like start naming names. So like he thought there was this whole conspiracy theory, and like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but remember, like, even there was a time, and I think I was talking to you, Jackie, about this a while back, that I was afraid Corey Feldman was going to get in some serious trouble, like with all this coming out from, but then his like stuff of coming out really wasn't that surprising, like the stuff that he was saying and the people he was name dropping. He didn't name drop like big names, he dropped people that I've never even heard of, that were in the industry apparently. And I understand that, like, that's still pretty bad, like that stuff happened and that these people were actually in the industry. But I think he made it out to sound like he was going to, like, drop the most, like, fantastical names out there. And, I don't think we're going to get more information until, like, people really, like, get the whole Jeffrey Epstein shit, going.
Yeah, well, that whole true story is never going to come out. So.
Yeah, people are going to bury that until whatever, and just hopefully less and less people will do slimy shit like that, and then eventually.
I think so, because we're moving into a society where, like, child molestation is just like a slap on the wrist. Like, don't do that. Like a trip and a fall, and so then we start downplaying it, but then we go on in life like all mentally jacked up because it happened to us, and it's because we're downplaying this stuff. These are like huge events that really do like mess someone's psyche up on like a whole nother level, and it changes your whole life, where you have to work around this stuff, and people just downplay it like, it's just molested. Like,
I agree. That's why I have such an admiration, I think, for Corey Feldman especially. I mean, and anyone else who's ever like went through that. But I feel, and like I have small kids, and so I always make sure to like talk to them and always keep that door open, because it's just scary out there, and like you can't undo that brain fuck. Like you just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, and sadly, it normally happens to people that are closest to you, family members or whatever. But unfortunately for people in film, how sets become film family. You got very close for a large portion of time, and then not only that, but the film industry is such a small, it really is small, like everybody kind of knows everybody type thing.
Right.
So it's like you don't, and like that industry is so touchy, and you have to be careful, especially nowadays, what you say and whose name you say. It's getting harder for people to be able to speak openly about anything happening.
Yeah, which really is scary. Like this is a scary time right now. Period. So it kind of like you said, Sam, do you have an admiration for somebody like Corey who does want to get over this shit, and the only way
people dog him for being like crazy or something, I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, he's crazy. He grew up in the industry as a child actor. Like, I mean, listen to any child actor's story. I've never really heard of one that was like wholesome and nice.
I mean, I think there's been a few that I've like seen that have come out and they've actually did, but like they always talk in interviews about how close their parents were to protecting them, basically, like you are with your kids. Like they were there to make sure that this stuff didn't happen. But then there are parents that just look the other way or whatever because they want their kids. Like I wonder, like about like Macaulay Culkin. Like he seems to be a well versed person, or whatever. But was there anything that we just don't know about that he's never gonna, what I mean? Things like that.
I'm sure that there is. Yeah. I mean, there's like sex trafficking is like the biggest thing in the world right now, bigger than drug sales will ever be. And it's like, it's just become the norm for parents to just be like, we need money.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna turn our head towards this.
Yeah, which is really sad.
There was the Smallville actress.
Like, the
cult. Like in some cult. Yeah, about sex trafficking, pretty much. Yeah. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about this movie, though we don't want to. You sort of have to, just a little bit more.
There's cops. They have a brothel. There's sex scenes. Horrible writing. Things that they wrote that they called jokes that I don't even know how they could be delivered to make them funny. It was so bad.
And like what? Every time they said peeping Tom, that like music that played and they all like looked around.
So Jackie, so say you got the script, from somebody, would you just automatically turn it down?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not in the film industry anymore, but I'm saying, like, if somebody were just like,
if I was in the film industry, this bitch ain't thirsty, yo. I got water. I got a whole glass over here.
Yeah, me
Don't need
too.
that.
Yeah, I think like the second or third gratuitous like sex scene out of like nowhere, I would have been like, yeah, no.
Well, this was written by a man and a woman, and I can. They've worked on other projects together, so I'm assuming maybe a couple, that wrote this movie together. And all I could think of is, like, what woman would agree? Like, this is a good, like these are good scenes. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, this was like one of the most exploitive films.
A lot of women are pressured into doing that. Like, what did we just watch? Like, me and Derek just watched. What did we just watch about the director being forced into doing? Was it?
I don't remember.
The Slumber Party movie? Slumber Party Massacre? Yeah, we watched the behind the scenes of Slumber Party Massacre, and a woman did that, and she was like, I had to. Like, there was no choice. Like, I had to have this amount of skin in this movie. And
yeah.
Woman and other women were like, oh, well, you're a woman. Why did you do this? And she's like, my hands were tied.
We talked
being tied, where her hands literally tied. It's called no, I'm not doing this, and you walk off.
Corman. It was a Roger Corman film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he's like,
but go get a day job. Like, I'm sure they weren't paying her that much.
Well, actually, what was it? She left ET to.
Oh yeah, she left. She turned down a job with ET to do this movie. So I mean, I guess she really wanted this job.
Well, I mean, a lot of, especially what was the 80s? It was back in the 80s. So she was probably going, well, this is my chance to direct something. And I hate to say this sounds terrible, but like women back then did not get opportunities like this back, to be a director of much,
I mean, it's like not even that common today. I mean, there's not that many female directors out there.
Right.
Well,
so,
you know what? It looks like she made it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else she's done other than that.
She hasn't done anything else. It was pointless.
Yeah. It was kind of like not worth screwing over her ideals for.
Corey Feldman just messaged me.
Okay. What did he say?
He says, okay.
All right.
This is perfect. He goes, oh God, why? Of all the film in this world, why are we reviewing this awful thing? Like, what perfect timing.
I told you. I talked to him before about this movie, or I posted something about it, and he actually commented on Facebook, like, why did you get, why are you talking about this movie? This movie's terrible.
Poor Corey. Corey, we're sorry. I've been in way worse.
I know. I feel terrible, but in the same sense, he made it. Like, he did do it. It does exist.
We have to reap what we sow.
Corey Feldman is so cool. Like, he literally responds to his fans. I mean, not many people do that these days,
Well, some of us just have extra time. I'm just kidding.
Still waiting for that DM, Jackie.
Oh shit.
Oh Lord. Well, you apparently you have so much time. You get peed on. So.
What? Wait. We need to clear the air here. I pee on people.
Oh.
Yes, the one way.
Okay.
Trip.
Other way.
I mean,
Jeez.
you get it right. You know what sucks? So many I forget how straight faced I am. Like, with my sarcasm, I'll say shit out in public, and you should I started paying attention to how people look at each other. They're like, she just said that. I'm like, oh, I'm kidding. They're like, are you? I'm like, I don't know. Am I?
Well, because the way you just said that too is like, I'm kidding. like they can't take you seriously, or they do take you seriously because they're like, I'm not sure if she's kidding or not. I should be careful. But all right, let's.
Do you want to
let's
hear the
be good.
Corey Haim story?
Yes, she has a Corey Haim story.
I love some Corey Haim.
I don't remember what year this was, but I was. Sorry, I'm killing bugs. PETA, don't come after me. I was at a horror film convention in Florida. I think it was Orlando.
Probably, what is it? Spooky Empire?
Spooky Empire, correct. You have a good memory for dumb shit. And this is the roast of Jonathan Moody.
Cheers. Oh, cheers.
Oh my God. So yeah, I'm at a table and I'm helping the guy that runs the convention do some stuff, and I was signing some like posters and whatever for some really bad movies I had done. And I was standing there, and this director I've known since like the very start of my film career, he was there, and this guy approached the table and was just talking to me or whatever, and just making like normal conversation, and then asked me, like, he's like, hey, like we have like a party going on later, like do you want my number, like you could come hang out? I'm like, sure. I'm like, whatever, like sure, like no intentions on going, but didn't want to be rude. And so as soon as he walks away, my director friend was like, come here. I was like, okay. So I walk over, and he was like, you know who that is, right? And I was like, who? And he was like, you don't know who that dude is you're just sitting there talking to? I was like, no. And he was like, it's Corey Haim. And I was like, who? He's like, Corey Haim. And I'm like, who? And he's like, Lost Boys. And I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, Jackie, that's so awesome. And I was like, yeah, I don't care.
I buy it.
I mean, seriously, if you're not really like I grew up, like I love the Lost Boys, you know, that was one of my favorite movies, like whatever, growing up. So I would like, I knew Corey, like period. Like I would search movies out that Corey had done, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know somebody, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's that person. You know what I mean? Like you barely, you know, knew him. So understandable.
Well, I've always had a thing with like, it's not that I don't care about people in the industry. Obviously I do. I just don't have like an excitement button. Like my excitement button is watching shit pranks. That gets me excited. Watching people hurt themselves. Fucking hilarious. Yeah. Meeting someone who's been in a movie, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. When I met Kevin Bacon, and I'm a huge Kevin Bacon fan. Huge. And I reacted like I was like disgusted by him. And I was like, I don't even know why. Like I honestly didn't mean to, but I was so just like awkward, and I didn't know what to do. So I just reverted to like, you know, being in grade school, like, oh, Kevin Bacon.
You're not gonna believe this, but like Kevin Bacon's trying to have a conversation. I'm so
I was like, oh, time for this today. And then like I get to my hotel room, and that's when I'm like, ah! But like I could not bring myself to like react in front of him. I don't know why. I think I need therapy to discover that.
I remember
maybe you just didn't want him to feel like it. Like if
because
he's
it's weird, right? Like I just think that's weird when people react like that to people, and I'm like, I just don't want to be one of those people.
When I met Kevin Smith for the first time, and you know, you go up to shake his hand and everything, I did not know what to say to him, right? You know, like what do you say? And so I was like, and so I told him who I was on their like the message board that he has, right? And he looked at me and he goes, I'm Kevin. Like that was his response to me. And I was like, because he was Kevin on the message board, but I was just like, all right, this like conversation went nowhere. Like I was like, I know, and I like left. That was it. That was my like first me. I met him later on too. You know, still a fan, but it's just weird, our interactions.
So Corey gave me a quote. He's like, "You want my quote? Here's my quote." He said, "That movie is an abomination. I directed and co-wrote a really funny movie that was made to make fun of B movies, and the B movie company that hired me to direct it and rewrite the script didn't get jokes, so they took the film away from me and put an editor on it to make a movie that wasn't smart. They dumbed it down, made it crude, and cheesed it out by making the T and A look like TNA instead of a parody of something that it was supposed to be, so it never worked." Huge, great cast of actors, but it had potential. So
yeah, I can see that because Corey's really never done anything like this before. So it kind of like is an oddball out there.
I think that goes to what you guys were saying earlier too, like that you felt like this wasn't Corey's fault. Like Corey didn't, Corey tried something, and then you guys mentioned that the producers probably took it away from him or whatever, and that's what happened. Holy cow! So
and
we got
why we don't assume,
because
assume means what? It makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah,
that's true.
Do you want to FaceTime? You want to FaceTime real quick?
Did you ask him that?
No.
You should.
You should. Holy cow! If he would come on, do it. We'll definitely have him on here. He can tell us like to our face.
Join the meeting.
Send him the link to the meeting. Tell him if he wants to join. Feel free. Do it. You have my permission.
Did Moody just say he's like, I don't get excited about things?
Yeah,
Calm
he's like,
down,
do
Moody.
Do it.
Oh Lord, we never have something like this happen.
Well, I messaged him this morning just thinking, because like I talked to him a few times just like over like dumb things. Like actually, you remember when he used to have those what were they called? Corey's Angels. He used to have like these lingerie parties. And this is like a while ago, like when Hugh Hefner and his parties was like still like a normal thing. I actually got invited to one of those, and I was thinking, like I'm not wearing lingerie, but like you had to, like if you were a woman invited to this party, like you had to come wearing lingerie. So I was both offended and honored at the same time.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I doubt he'll come to the meeting, but to the show. But that's
tell him come on for 1 minute exactly to say how crappy the movie is.
Right. We just think of all the people that would actually really
listen. Yeah. We can say we got Corey Feldman to come in. I think Paul would be super jealous at that moment because
when is Paul not super jealous?
That's true.
I'm just kidding, Paul. I mean, I'm not. I mean, move over, son.
God. Everyone just teases Paul with the moves.
Yeah. Because we can't.
Yeah.
And he likes it.
He likes it. When I say before, like there was something he told me he put a cow into something he would do. And I'm just like, everything he does, he wants to put a cow in it. I guess everything's better with cows.
Him and his little onesie.
Oh yeah.
He has a one.
He's got a cow onesie. Yep.
Does he just
sleeps in it? Whatever. No, I think he might have before. Because if he goes someplace with it, I don't know.
Does he have? Did you say his car is like a cow?
No, I don't think so. No, his car says Moo Cow on it, on his license plate.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, so it would be great if, whatever. We do sort of have to go into our rating in a little bit. So I guess, do you want to guys do that now?
Oh, can we also talk about how the alleged molester died? So he is dead. He died at 62 of natural causes. I did write that down.
Okay.
FYI. Alleged.
Alleged.
Also, Charlie Sheen was alleged of molesting too, but
Right.
like the rumor was that Charlie Sheen just paid off Corey Haim's mom to not name him. So who knows if that's true or not? Because if you have money, like people with money can get away with a lot more things.
Yeah.
You can literally murder if you have enough money.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean Charlie Sheen, it's Charlie Sheen.
Right.
I'm not gonna say nothing about nobody. I'm just gonna say this: anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. So, it would have been interesting to sort of. I mean, I guess we wouldn't bring up to Corey the whole stuff because that's just. I don't know. Would you guys even want to hear his, him talk about it? I don't think he'd want us to even say something, but so.
Yeah, I mean, that would make me feel really awkward because, it's not like my place, and
yeah, we don't know. We weren't there. It's not our business.
I just feel bad for any child or anybody who's been made to do something that they didn't want to do. Like, it just kind of hurts my heart a little.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Advantage of.
Yep, mine too. All right, so let's get. Is there anything else you guys wanted to, Jackie? Was there anything else you wanted to talk about this movie?
Poop.
There was no poop in this movie.
Nope. Okay, so we're good.
Did that make you sad?
I mean,
There's fart jokes, but they weren't very good.
they weren't good.
No, I mean, and you live for fart jokes, so like,
I had to take Biden to the hospital today.
Oh God.
Because he couldn't stop Putin.
All right. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I'm a child. Okay.
Oh gosh. I mean, what the plot of this movie was what? Just like taking hookers off the street and putting them in the police academy? Was that
that was the plot, but even then that wasn't really much of a plot because like that just was the thing. Like I mean, when I was trying to like figure out how to describe the movie or whatever, it said in the thing like basically they were taking hookers, putting them there. That was the side plot to it. And the rest was this captain who they were trying to stop from, seeing everything, right? Even though she hid cameras in all the plants or something, But like the whole idea was like that they were just trying to stop them from see the new captain from seeing everything so that she doesn't report them to the internal affairs or whatever, And by the end of it, they sort of did, but then the fucking mayor, played by Ron Howard's father, was the peeping Tom, the whole time, And I was like, okay, because I was getting to the end of the movie, and I was like, wait, they never resolved the peeping Tom thing. Like, who the fuck's the peeping Tom? I just want to know because I've heard that stupid music like a million times, and if I did not get any closure on that, I would have threw the movie out the window. Actually,
at the end, even I was looking. I was like, so hard not to. Yeah,
that's funny.
Terrible line that Feldman delivers. The two girls are like naked in the front yard sunbathing. He's like, "Hey, you look different." She's like, "Huh, I take my hair a little bit." He's like, "No, that's not it." She like, "I lost 56 pounds." "No, that's not it." "My nose job?" "No, that's not it." "Oh, your genital transformation or whatever." It was a dude.
Yeah, it was like sex what is it? Sex change operation. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, that was just terrible.
It was so bad. I was actually going to write down all of the bad jokes that I thought was bad until I realized that they were all bad. So I stopped writing.
You were like, okay, you had a mission. You're like, okay, maybe they'll have some good jokes in there. Nope.
Nope. I usually like goofy, dumb humor. Like, I mean, but this just wasn't it. It wasn't.
Well,
I don't know. It just missed the mark.
and Jackie loves that too. Like we used to watch like Dumb and Dumber and all these stupid comedies that are stupid, but the difference is they are written by people who are smart, right? Like smart, And I just don't think the people that wrote this were that smart,
Hey, Corey, thanks for coming on. I was kidding. He didn't write it.
He said he had co-wrote original draft, and I guess that got taken out. And then these two new people are the only ones credited as the writers, right? And I think that's the case. I think they came in, they rewrote it and it just was terrible. And I'm not saying that it was their fault. I need to watch their other movie that they did that's on Tubi and to see if it's much better, because this could be just like a clusterfuck of like producers coming in and telling people what to do and writers, all the writers trying to get their jokes, whatever jokes in. There's some filmmakers who will actually they'll get other, like Uwe Boll is very well known for this, but he'll get the actors to rewrite the scripts, and the actors don't know how to write most of the time unless they're writers, so it just like you just get a mishmash of like ridiculousness, and that's what this was.
Yeah,
all right.
Nothing. I think the only thing redeemable about it was just the fact that Corey Feldman was in it for me. Like, I'm trying to be positive and think of like one thing, and I'm like, I can't think of anything other than Corey Feldman was in it.
Yeah, but even that doesn't really save the movie, in my opinion.
No.
Like,
Jesus Christ could come back. It's still going down.
Jesus Christ to be in that shower scene.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think that'll be a good thought.
Prayer now.
Jesus Christ will be like, you know what? I remember what you guys said on that podcast about me.
Like washing away the sins. Oh my God! See, look, I've seen this movie. Now my brain is like going dumb.
I think that's the one thing about this movie. It doesn't help you with your smart, to get smarter.
I mean, I'm honestly trying to think of like, because I don't really watch a lot of like bad movies like that. So I think this actually may be the first like movie that I actually don't like at all. This might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Wow.
Then
what?
Stay off of Moody's podcast then.
That's why I typically do.
Movies that didn't have midgets in them.
No, I can't. Yeah. I don't know. I just,
yeah. You've seen too many bad ones, Jackie.
I watched parts of the doll that was raping people, by the way, and no. One that was raping people and taking shits on their face. That one, the doll.
Which one? I'm trying to remember which one that was.
That guy that died, he was like molesting children. And he got electrocuted, and then his spirit went into the doll. And then the doll came back and started molesting and shitting on everybody.
Sounds like 8 movies combined in one.
I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember that one.
It's called the Black Midget Doll.
Oh, the Black Devil Doll. Yeah, Black Devil Doll. But you didn't see that one. That's why I was confused.
No,
I was like,
I went and watched some of it, and like, I had my psychiatrist directly after.
I just want to know, Moody, how did you not know what she was talking about? Like, how many other movies does that like relate to in your life?
No, because I was just like wondering because I was thinking of movies that me and her had seen together, but I had just told her about the movie, and I guess she decided to take it upon herself to go watch it.
I just watched a movie about a doll that is like shitting on people. It's not me. Like, I want to watch that.
I mean, we might put that on our list.
Dude, no, you're. But I suggest just putting it on your TV and just watch a couple of little scenes and skim through it, and you're gonna be like,
Nope, that's it.
I thought this was. It is not.
What's it
No, Black Devil Doll.
And it's like not politically correct. There's no way they could make that movie these days.
Nope.
Literally about a black guy that's raping people, which would not go with the film.
Oh, and killing them and then raping some too, while they're dead.
Oh, necrophilia.
And then shitting, right?
And then shitting on ones that are there's other girls who get shit on in the movie.
Shit on them.
What?
On their
Oh
head.
Lord.
What's Derek saying?
What'd you say, man?
I said, what fucking movies are y'all watching?
I don't think we want to know.
I do say that all fingers are pointed at Jonathan Moody right now. I do not look for this stuff, but I gave
In all fairness,
telling Jonathan that I am bored and I'm trying to stay out of trouble and I need shit to do until my college classes start, and this is what I got.
Yeah, well, this is how it happens. Now you mentioned it, and now I'm gonna have to watch it, and then I'm gonna have to tell people.
Mention a movie that was suggested to me about a doll shitting on
Right.
people.
okay.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Paul was the one who picked that for that time. So I'm not trying to blame Paul. I'm just saying that that's the case.
Yeah.
Paul introduced me to that one, but I was aware of it. Like I knew that it was a pretty terrible movie like that. Like it did that kind of stuff. I had never seen it, and then we watched it for What the Fuck Friday, and then I was on the phone on my way home, and I was like, Jackie will never guess the movie I seen, and she was like, I've got to check that out.
Well, you can get merchandise.
Yeah, no, it did.
What?
Black Devil Doll merchandise. Yes, look, Jackie, look.
No.
You can get a shirt.
Is it him taking a shit?
No,
It's
it's just
literally a website. The website is called blackdevildoll.com.
nice.
No.
Yeah, you can get a pen, you can get a DVD, poster, t-shirts, and so much more.
So much more part I'm like worried about.
Personalized shit mailed to you. I have a couple of addresses I need to send out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the rating. Let's go to this rating. Come on.
Black Devil Doll Jaws poster.
Nice.
Come on, look at this. I gotta show this to y'all.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. I put that up.
It's only $8.
$8.
And it says it's signed.
Oh, damn.
By the Devil Doll himself.
It doesn't say signed who, it just says it's signed.
Oh.
Like Randy Jackson's signature on a samurai.
All right, so let's do his rating for Busted. We've been trying to do for the last 20 minutes.
All right.
All right, so let me explain once again the stinkometer. The stinkometer is a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being excellent and 10 being stinky and bad. You can also do a 0.5 if you feel like, it's a 5.5 or 6.5 if you feel like you're not quite sure which one you want to go to. And then at the end of the season, we will we'll look at the ladder of stink that we have, and we'll see which ones are the stinkiest in the movies that we reviewed. So that being said, Jackie, do you want to start?
10.
10? All right. This is like your second or third 10 already.
Hey, have me watch some shit.
All right. So Samantha, what would you say?
In the words of Baba from Varsity Blues, I give it a 10. A 10. 10.
And I will have to agree with both of you guys. This is the 10. This is my first 30 of the year of the season, I believe, and of mine, And when I first bought this, I bought this movie on DVD, by the way.
You paid money.
I paid money for this movie, mainly because it's sort of out of print. It's not really that common to find. So it might not be out of print, but it's like
There's kids starving in Africa for 2 cents a day, and you spend 8 doll hairs on this fucking piece of junk.
Probably. I mean, oh well, it's my money.
That's some child's dinner on your shelf for like a fucking month.
All right. What was that?
For free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when I actually bought it on DVD, it was not available on YouTube. It had actually left being available on YouTube for a little bit, and then somebody else, I guess, put it up. So
there must have been a demand. Somebody was like, "Man, I really wish I had access to this movie," and then they put it on there.
Well, the funny thing is, it is on Tubi, but it's only available in Spanish. So you can watch this movie in Spanish.
We should have all watched it in Spanish.
Oh my god!
I kind of want to check it out like tomorrow in Spanish and see if it makes it any more fun. But no, this is definitely a 30. But I don't look, once again, let's make sure that if Corey Feldman listens to this podcast, which I doubt he will, since he hates this movie so much. That we're not dissing him on the movie. It's definitely not his fault. He as far as we know, he tried to make something decent and was kind of railroaded into making.
We know that for sure because he literally said that. So we have confirmation.
Confirmation.
What does it mean?
He was sort of forced to. Yeah. It's like when you're railroad, I don't know like where the definition comes from, where the term comes from, but I think it's like basically when you're sort of forced to move out of the way or something, like that's what I get it from. I don't know. Like I have no idea where the etymology of railroaded comes from, but that's being forced to do something. You're railroaded into doing something. What? You look like you just like flicked me. Whatever though.
App of Jonathan Moody.
You're done with that. All right. So I want to thank both of you because before I did it, I think Sam and I were talking before I even watched the movie. Sam and I had been talking about just Corey Feldman and your love for him. So I knew that, I'm going to definitely try to get you a Corey Feldman movie. I did not think that this would be the movie originally, but I bought the movie. I started watching it and I go, oh, this got a lot of fucking nudity in the movie. And I know Sam hates that in this world right now. And this will be something to talk about. Then I was like, I need to get Jackie on here because Jackie and Sam have never been on the show before together. And so that's a good way to do it. And what a way to start with the pretty bad, stinky movie that even when the director themselves disown the movie, that's a pretty bad movie,
Yeah.
So now Jackie and I will always remember we first met and talked over but our memory.
Yes.
We talked before on video.
Yeah. I think on a podcast.
No, I think it was I think you guys, when I was living with Jackie, you called and talked, but I don't think you ever did video together.
Well, I remember seeing her on video. Like, yeah, I think you had set it down and she was like walking around. Okay. I talked to her. I remember that one time.
Yeah. She usually
I'll always remember you.
she would sometimes walk in, like I'll be doing a podcast, and she'll walk in and just like look in, like hey, what's up, and everything, and I'll be like, okay, that's what's living with Jackie's like. Just peers out of nowhere and just like pokes her head in.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of mad because like thinking back, we didn't get you on the show more, Jackie. Like we literally lived together. We could have had you on Indie Film Cafe a lot more, but I guess.
Do you remember the circus that was happening back then? Who had time for podcasts?
I did, but you didn't.
Good for you. Good for you.
A lot of time for I don't know. I don't know how you do it, Moody. All that podcast.
Yep. I do it all the time, but I love it. If you love what you do, then it's not really work, is it? For you. Yeah, apparently. Wait, yeah, peeing on people. We got to make sure.
Is it okay if we say it?
What?
My new website.
Oh, sure.
It's JackiePeasOnPeople.com.
.com, okay. Not .org.
Get it in the face.
Okay. So if everybody wants to go to her new website
and splash it in my own face for shits and gigs.
You splash it in your own face? I thought you said you don't like that. I'm very confused.
Tell people our private conversations.
Listen, you're just gonna have to check out her website and find out for yourself.
Trust me, I've lived with her for a year and a half. I'm okay. I don't need to check out any websites.
It's not for you. It's the people.
Jonathan. All right, guys, check this out. Check it out. Hear me out. What if there's a world where there's no zombies? Like fucking Earth?
I said that, and what I meant when I did not specify when I said it, yeah, but what I meant was that there were that nobody knew what zombies were, and there were just zombies walking around, like most people do in fucking, TV shows and Walking Dead. They have to call it something else because zombies, whatever. Anyway.
Like just a perfect moment. He was so deep in thought and he was like so serious about this fucking idea. And his dumbass says, okay, just hear me out. Like, imagine this. Imagine a world where there's no zombies. And I just waited a beat and looked at him and I was like fucking Earth?
I was like, wait, no.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, Lord. We understand that movie didn't never get made.
Well, speaking of peeing on people, I
you gotta go.
Or I need a part-time job, Jackie. Are you hiring?
You.
All right, well, thank you everybody. Horrible and Coffee should be back sometime soon for its next season. But you got your own new podcast, don't you, Sam?
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah, you're doing something with the ladies. Yeah. So that's what just happened, Jackie?
A certain someone called me.
All right.
Thursdays for the Queen.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. It was fun. Sad that Corey didn't.
Website, everybody.
I'm sad that Corey didn't call in, but it's okay.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll give him more of a time to prepare.
A heads up. Yeah. He doesn't know the mess he's walking into.
Oh no! But we gotta pick a different movie though. Something that's not, an abomination is how he put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Something he actually likes.
Yeah, but not like Lost Boys.
No, something that's that not many people have seen, but he likes.
Right.
All right.
I need to go for a few minutes, so let's
I
wrap
think
this up.
we're all gonna probably go. So have a good one, everybody. Love you guys.
Jackie, bye, Moody.
Bye.